Hi everyone, welcome to this week's installment of the Hedge Plus Q&A. As always, 5 questions from both clients and prospects. This week we have 4 questions from our current clients and 1 question from a prospect we've been speaking to. It's, as you can probably imagine, very tariff talk heavy.
I figured it would be talking a lot about trolls.
Especially, exactly, Reddit. These questions we've been getting leading up to last night, and then even this morning, more questions. So we'll get started.
Okay.
All right. When do you think the price action will return to normal?
That probably means we turn to fundamentals. When things start to get solved, I don't know when that's going to be. I would suspect that we're going to either be in for a long battle, or it will be solved in the next couple weeks. If it's not solved the next couple weeks, I think both sides kind of put their feet in the mud, get pretty bullheaded about things, and it kind of stays that way for a while. And the government start to adjust off the new reality that tariffs are in place.
Right. I think sounds like we might see some resolution possibly as early as today. We're not counting on it, but even let's say tariffs start to get figured out, it sounds like there's gonna be more changes. So volatility is probably gonna be in store for this year regardless.
Yeah, John, I agree. And the reciprocal tariffs that's actually going back, and the fact that some countries don't accept any of our goods, all that stuff is yet to come. But the major players are China, Mexico, buying our grains, and in Canada with livestock and all that kind of stuff. Those are the 3 biggies. And if we could that settled, the other stuff will be hyperbole.
Probably why he started off with them is addressing the EU later.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Yeah, EU sucks.
Yeah. Trump is suggesting that the tariffs he's imposing will pave the way for American farmers to sell more of their production right here in the U.S.
I don't think he's talking about grains. I think he's talking about other products that we import from like Mexico, like avocados. If we can grow more of that kind of stuff here in the U.S. because there's no tariff, it would be highly competitive. I think that will happen. And maybe we'll lose some acres down south to other planted crops instead of cotton or the major 8 big ones. I don't think they have a major effect on our grains. Maybe less imports of corn and soybeans, but the imports of so low, it's pathetic. It's not going to have much of a change there, I don't think.
Right. It's probably a shifting acres type of situation.
At best.
All right. Have the funds flipped their position, and do you think they are now short?
I do. I was watching Biden the last 6 days, and it's like, oh my goodness. July and May had over 500,000 contracts traded yesterday. That's crazy. Report days don't have that many contracts traded. Big report days in the front months. The only way we have that kind of value, in my opinion, is that we lose 350,000 contracts or longs, and we end up net short. I think you're going to see the next 8 report, and maybe take another report after that because the report's good through Tuesday, yesterday. I think you're going to see corn funds net short, and also in beans net short.
Wow, that's quite the dramatic change. Yeah, and that would explain why we've seen the dramatic drop in prices.
Yep.
Speaking of those prices, does this pullback of prices back to where they were at before the USDA cut ending stocks in January mean we'll see demand grow and see stocks reduce even more, or will the tariffs prevent that?
The tariffs aren't a liquidation of demand. They're an adjustment of demand, okay? We saw that with Trump the first time with China, right? They started after he left office, and there's nobody holding China accountable to the deal. China signs a deal with Brazil, and they buy a ton of egg products out of Brazil. What happened? We picked up on all the other countries that were buying from Brazil because dollar prices are too high. So it shifted to other countries, Colombia, Mexico, he bought even more. Countries around the world started buying more of our products because China was taking all the Brazilian crop. That's what's going to happen with tariffs. You're going to see adjustments from country to country. I don't see a loss of demand like we saw short term with China. We're just not that dependent on one country anymore.
And there's only so much of these grains to go around. So if these large countries who don't are buying it from South America, well, then South America has less to sell to everyone else.
Yes.
Okay. Makes sense. And finally, a question this week from Prospect. It's kind of a loaded question. It's kind of the question when you think about it. Okay, so it is, how do we get through this period of tariffs, questionable demand, and larger crops each year, paired with lower prices and more volatility? That's kind of...
Well, if you believe that we're just going to have lower prices, wipe our...
Yeah.
Okay. We're not going to just have lower prices. Okay. We're going to have periods of low prices and we're going to have periods of high prices. This is the game that you guys have been playing since you got into farming. And the solution is simple. When you're more aggressive with sales, when you get profit like we were on the last rally up, we got to 25% corn. We got at new crop, we got 70% in old crop at a good price. It wasn't the greatest price, was it profitable? For most, we got some profit out of those sales. And then you hedge when you can. We got a 2025 corn hedge on. Why are we talking about beans? Because beans prices just stinky. I think we get a rally with some kind of weather. By the way, let's talk about that for a second. If we cut the acres down to where the USDA is saying in beans, and we grow same yield as last year, bean ending stocks would be projected at pipeline. That's $13, $14 beans, people. What I'm telling you is that with the reduced acres in beans, there's a lot more risk if we have a weather event. And a weather event doesn't have to be drought. It has to be fear of a hot, dry period somewhere in the Midwest. We usually get that at some point. I think we're going to get it this year. Beans go to 13, corn rallies back up to 5, 5.25. We make more sales. Take advantage of the spikes. Don't panic at the bottom. Adjust when you have to.
Don't fall in love with the spikes either, because where we were at 2 weeks ago when we made those sales, if people were, sky's the limit, it's just going to go up from here. Wow, look at what they would have missed out if they weren't willing to make that sale.
Right. So, and this is emotion. This is your bottom line. This is the most important thing that farmers do. They grow a crop so they can feed their family and buy stuff and take care of people. Okay? Don't let your prefrontal cortex be eliminated by emotion and the emotion part of your brain controlling things. And you can do that by 1, having a plan, 2, realizing that anything can happen, both up and down, and that we're going to have crazy swings. And then you're less likely to react to emotion and more likely to have a solid plan that will work for you. We can help with that.
Absolutely. All right. Sounds good. Thank you. And great questions this week. At the end of the video, there's an opportunity to see our email address if you want to submit a question of your own. And look forward to next week.
Have a good week.
Thanks.